This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
This is Tiny at Obsessive Tiny on Twitter.
This is Mike White, and I am at Mike White. Fuck, goddamn it. It's been too long. And I'm Mike White, and you can find me at I am Mike White on Twitter.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Okay, hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show, each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, and you can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And as always, this episode is sponsored by Horror Movie Yearbook, which is a podcast devoted to discussing a bevy of horror movies and discussing and reviewing them in context of the year of release and the current events and the pop culture of that year. You can find them on Twitter at HM Yearbook and at HorrorMovieYearbook.com. And once again, thank you guys at Horror Movie Yearbook and at Midwest Podcast Network for sponsoring this episode. So today we have, for the first time since
Summer of Sandler.
Since Summer of Sandler.
That long.
At my
That is
brother's
a long
apartment.
time. Yes. We have all three of us in the same room,
Yeah.
and now there's a cat.
All four of us are in the room.
Right?
We brought our kids. Well, you brought your kid.
Right. She is the official mascot of the Obsessive
Okay,
Viewer.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
But anyway, yeah.
Fake news.
So there was a poll and everything, Tiny.
Fake news.
So there is, yeah. So Mike's here. Mike,
I'm here. Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's great.
Yeah. So you're.
You know what's funny to think about? I almost told you right as we started this thing, hey, maybe this time you don't have to do Mike's back after so long, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I want to be back every now and then.
Right.
This is one with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized the last time we did one of these recordings, we didn't actually finish that episode.
Yeah.
So, listeners, you haven't heard that episode. So, in our minds, it's actually been a year since I've been on the podcast.
Right.
Well, no, technically not, because January.
Oh,
Year
January.
in
Okay,
review.
so the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so as far as listeners are concerned, they haven't
Right.
heard me since January.
Yeah.
But listen to me
yeah.
talk like I'm my fan. My fans haven't heard me on here since January. But no, I'm thinking, we just did this like 3 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that episode is coming. That will be
eventually.
out soon. But,
yeah. But I do want to kind of address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mike, I don't know.
I
if
have
you're
gained
aware.
a few pounds.
No.
I wouldn't say elephant, but
It's just that makes me. Sorry, I didn't mean anyway. So previous to the last two episodes,
That's such
we
a bad
had
joke.
a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit. And Tiny, we've had two episodes where you have not been on the show.
Yeah.
And did you listen to those episodes at all?
I listened to the one with Kirsten.
Okay,
I didn't listen to the one with Effects because I haven't seen Lost World.
Oh
yet, so.
yeah, or Jurassic World,
Same thing.
Fallen Kingdom.
It
yeah,
is the same.
it's-
Oh my
Yeah, I wish it was
Jurassic
Lost.
World of the Kingdom of
Right.
Fallen. I don't know.
In that
Crystal
episode,
Skull.
I mentioned that this is two episodes where Tiny hasn't been on after we've been on hiatus. I hope that people don't think that we had a falling out or anything,
No.
or that yeah. So
Just life. Hashtag life.
yeah, exactly. Life happens.
Yeah, adulting.
Yeah. So and also
I miss 10 episodes at a time.
Right.
Before I go,
Yeah.
20 episodes before I come on. Just
Right.
life. I'm still a full-time member of this podcast, listeners. I just,
You are on sabbatical.
I have to be like, hey, I got to miss this week and 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 this week. This week.
Yeah, and I have to say you're in danger of getting write up on it. So
I know.
Yeah.
You know what's cool is usually we do a summer episode. Usually I'm on in the summer, and this is kind of later in the summer. And that I'll be back on in October for an episode, maybe 2 episodes.
Right.
And then hopefully we'll finish the project we were working on a couple months ago. I think
Yes.
that'll be out. So I think you guys will hear a little more of me
I hope so.
Nice.
in the next couple months.
Oh, yeah.
Sweetness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Both my kids are sleeping through the night now too. So
Yeah, you were
Good.
telling me about that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's
Listening to
much better.
sleeping to the sounds of the obsessive viewer.
That's right. Yeah.
Good. But yeah, so what have you been up to? Have you made any huge purchases or created anything that's been posted online
Humans?
that people could, or humans?
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're going.
I went
That's
with
a
the
really
album,
good
you went with the
setup.
person.
Yeah. Have I purchased anything? Well, we bought a house.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very
That's where I
excited
was-
about that.
That's where I was getting
Right. So I'm in Evansville. I'm here. I'm in Indy with the guys right now. I'm looking at them. But no, when I'm at home in Evansville, we just bought a house, which is super awesome. What'd you say? The thing that I made that I put out?
thing that you made that you put out onto
Right.
the internet.
So the other thing that I'm super proud of is my band, As Good As It Gets, which I've been pitching on this podcast since the beginning. With my good friend Dustin, we just put out our first full-length album. It's called Pastiche. Again, the band is As Good As It Gets. The album is Pastiche, and it's available on all the platforms. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Google Play. It's on Bandcamp. It's on iTunes. It's on Apple Music. So you can purchase that if you want to have it in your collection. I don't know that people do that anymore. It'd be cool if you do.
Yeah.
Or you could just listen on Spotify and let me know or let the guys know what you think, and hopefully give it a listen. I'm super proud of it. Been making music for, like 16, 17 years now.
Yeah.
That's a while.
And I think as every musician believes, this is the best thing we've ever put out. But, I haven't put anything out in kind of a long time. So this really is
Right.
a culmination of, like 5 years of work that
wow.
Dustin and I have been putting together. Some of the songs come from, 2007 when I was in college, and we finally just got them finished. And most of the album is pretty new, so it kind of has that, that overarching feeling of like, this is what I've been up to for the last several years. So I'm super proud of it. It's called Pastiche. The band is As Good As It Gets. Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, Google Play. Just give it a listen. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I listened to it at work the other day, and as I mentioned off mic, there are a lot of what the kids are calling bangers on that album.
The whole album's a straight
The
banger.
whole album is
From
a
front to
straight
back.
banger.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but in turn, I would not classify any of these like piano pop rock songs as bangers. But I'll take it.
But no, and I'm being completely sincere when I say this, but I think I tweeted this out when you announced the release date or something. But I've known you since 2005, so it's
We were 18.
fucking hell. It's been 13 years. Shit. And like, you are many things. I'm a but I will say that in the 13 years that I've known you, like, every time you have new music out, it's like, I'm just so fucking excited.
Oh,
And,
man, thank you.
And it's just awesome. I'm
Thanks.
super excited for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're always a good fan/friend of what I put out, so I appreciate that.
I've been a
Thank
fan
you.
too. Matt, back in 2005 when you guys met, Matt snail mailed me a burnt copy of Thank You Jade's album,
You gotta listen to this.
and I dug it.
It's awesome.
I dug it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my more. We were a little more active punk band when I was in high
Yeah.
school. We actually played a lot more than we do. But yeah, you were a fan. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I know I've said this on the podcast before, but like, I remember when we got the roommate like assignments and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I was terrified because, going away to college, that's fucking
It
terrifying.
is terrifying. Yep.
And then I think that I Googled you or something, and then I think I found.
Well, we had both signed up for Facebook at that time.
Didn't
Didn't we?
So, I think so.
I would have.
Yeah.
Or maybe we found each other on AIM. I think it might
I
have been
think it was AIM. It was definitely AIM.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I either found out through Googling you that you were in a band, or like I learned when I first met you, but like in the back of my head I was like, God fucking damn it, I hope I like this guy's music. This is gonna be a nightmare if I don't.
But you came and it was like your favorite band is Motion City Soundtrack. And it's like, hey, our music pretty much sounds like that without the Moog synth.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, you did like the music. You know, funny enough, and I might have told you this. You probably know this, but
Okay.
I don't know that I've said it on the podcast. The plan for college was that the band would all go to Evansville. We would all go to USI. I was actually signed up to room with Dustin.
No way.
Dustin was in my punk band in high school, was in the band. Thank you, Jade. Tiny said the name earlier. Thank you, Jade. And, he's been my best friend since we were 13 years old. And he's the other guy in my band now, right? He's in As Good as It Gets, still making music together. He and I have been making music together for 2001, 17 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, this year. So anyway, making music for a long time. He was going to be my roommate. So we were Matt, listeners, Matt and I ended up in a suite of 4, but divided into 2 halves. So he was my direct roommate on our side, and we had 2 other guys. Dustin was to be that roommate of mine, right? And then so like the last week of senior year, Dustin goes, "Hey, there's something I got to tell you, man." I'm like, "What?" He's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to go to college, so I'm actually going to hang back and go to IUS. And it was like, really, it was a pretty big shift for the band after that. I was like, what? And then our guitarist was like, yeah, well, I was thinking the same thing, and if Dustin's not going, I'm not going. And at that point, the drummer was like, I wasn't going to go to college anyway. I was going to live with my sister, but if they're not going, I'm going to stay. And I'm like, what? And so I had to put just whomever for a roommate. Right?
I am so fucking glad that happened.
And praise be.
Yeah.
They signed us up together.
And I think I told you this story too. Like I got to this, by the way, Suite of 4 sounds like it would be the great name for a sitcom about freshman year at USI.
It was a sitcom. Our life freshman year was a sitcom.
Freshman year of college usually is a sitcom.
It was crazy.
It was fun.
Yeah.
But, I remember Pat and I were watching Undeclared one night when there was like
I guess that is the show of a freshman year.
Yeah.
that is that
literally
show.
the show.
It came out on DVD the summer before freshman year, and I bought it because I was like, I can relate. I can hopefully relate to this because I'm going to go to college.
Yeah.
Also, maybe bought Felicity, but that's fine.
Ooh.
Who were you then, Jay Baruchel? Like, did you imagine that's who you?
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah,
Okay.
I identified with
And
him
I'll
probably.
pretend I was Charlie Hunnam,
Okay.
but I wasn't.
Pretend.
But when I got to the room, like I think I had set my stuff on my bed, or something, and then one of our other roommates had initially put his stuff down somewhere, and like I just kind of moved it over to the couch because I don't know how it happened.
Well, you and I spoke because I remember all I cared about. Like, I'm not super discerning about what kind of people I was like, I'm going to meet all kinds of people. It's going to be cool. I don't care who my roommate is. But when I got in touch with you, I was like, hey, it's going to be cool. I'm excited.
I think that's what it was.
All I want is the back the back corner of the room. That's all. I promise I'm going to try to be a good roommate. I'm not going to ask all kinds of weird, crazy stuff.
Except for one thing.
Except one thing. Can I please have the back of the room?
I'm talking about how many pounds are in a ton.
I remember that story.
Yeah, that's true. We have recounted that.
We've counted it. But anyway.
And that's very inside as well.
Anyway, yeah, but but yeah, like I remember because I think it was we had our conversation on AIM, and like we agreed like, oh, we're gonna room together. And then I think I saw your Star Wars like pillowcase or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that must be this Mike guy. And I saw like one of our other roommates putting like he had his stuff on my bed. And I was like,
was it Colin or Eugene?
Eugene. And I was like, I'm just gonna move this over to the couch in the common area. So yeah. But yeah.
Thank you for.
No
things could have been different.
Nicely done.
So different. Yeah.
I liked Colin too. I liked Eugene as well.
Oh, yeah,
we
they were
had
both
great
great.
roommates.
I'm not in touch with them at all.
Neither am I.
Like the only people I talk because I only went to USI 1 year. The only people I talked to are you and Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, who was our 5th roommate.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But he and I had because I think everyone else like went home for a weekend or something. Just I think it was a holiday.
Yeah.
And then like he and I were in our room watching Undeclared, and like it was storming outside. And like we found out like later, like a tornado like went through. I don't know if it went through campus, but like it was like nearby.
Oh my gosh!
So,
you were there. We didn't go home for the weekend. It was a Saturday, so I was with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's every Saturday, and yeah,
which was
I
really
spent
good
the
for
night over
me.
there.
It was nice having the room to myself.
Was that dope? Like, did you like that
yeah, it was
alone
great.
time? Okay, I remember. I was always like, "Am I ditching him?"
No.
Every time I do
I
this?
was just petrified, full of anxiety. I was away from home. It was just, terrifying.
It was nice to have that.
It was nice.
Okay. So I went to my girlfriend's because I remember waking. Yeah, I mean, we would stay up for, till 4 or 5 in the morning. Was that crazy when you're that age and you just stay up that
Sounds
late?
horrible now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I wake up at 7 and it's like, oh, why'd I sleep in?
Today I had to go in, or I didn't have to, but I went into work an hour early and then left an hour early. But like my entire day was thrown off.
Yeah,
because like
for sure.
I couldn't get to sleep. Like I went to bed early, but I couldn't. My internal clock was like, no, this is not time for bed. This is time for Netflix.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't go to bed until my normal time, and then I was just dragging the whole day.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I would have been at her place as I was every Saturday, and I remember waking up to like texts. Mikey, are you okay? How close did the tornado get to you? What did you lose power? What's going on? Are you guys, talk to me, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, what? I don't even know what happened.
But so that so everything we're here. This is
College stories.
Yeah.
Too bad we already did a college movies episode.
I know.
Yeah, we did.
But I do want to mention, just because it hasn't, I haven't officially, not that it pertains to the podcast at all, but I did get a new job recently. So,
Right.
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah, super exciting.
Pause for applause.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Cool.
Anyway, super exciting because I'm in an office now. I don't work from home anymore, which sucks, but I don't have to answer phones, so that's definitely nice. So anyway, that's kind of contributing to the lack of, output from us because, life. But yeah.
Same company, just different.
Yeah, same company.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And Tiny, your life?
Disarray, complete disarray now. Just, just busy. Just got a dog and a wife and job. Like my job, it kind of amps up in the summertime.
Not to
some
super
overtime.
put you on the spot, and this is super gauche on a podcast. Are you guys talking about kids at all? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, we are. I mean,
Yeah?
it's like we want to have them, and like the clock's kind of ticking because we're like 31 now.
They say that. But
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about it.
I try not to give too much advice to parents. I really try not
Right.
to. But I do give one main piece of advice for people like thinking about having kids and they're not sure and they're kind of flip-flop. And I just say, just whatever you do, if you're thinking about having kids, just don't. That's awesome.
That's the end of the sentence. Just don't.
That's great. You said it so casually.
I know.
You really sold
I've told
it.
that joke so many times that I try to come up with new ways to make that pause as pregnant as possible. Pregnant, pun intended.
Ironically, yeah. Oh man.
No, I'm kidding. Kids are great. I have my 2 boys, and I love
Nice.
them so much.
Yep.
Nice. And congratulations on the new Rugrat.
Yeah, Howie's 4 months old.
That is insane.
I know. That's so crazy. He's the best. He's so funny, so cute, and
Nice.
smiley.
I meant to, we can talk off mic and everything, but I meant to ask you, how's Oscar doing adjusting to being a brother?
He doesn't like it.
Really?
awesome.
No,
Okay.
he hates it.
That's so
Oh, it's the
funny.
worst. It's like, so it ranges from denying the existence of his little brother to just smacking him on the head for no reason. Just
Wow.
just looking over here at something and then, oh, there's Howie. Smack.
Oh my god.
And it's I don't even know how to
jeez.
deal with that sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brothers.
Now, did you? I don't know how to ask because this sounds like it's going to be intrusive or anything, but
No.
was that always part of your plan? Have 2 kids, have it that
Yeah.
far apart? Because
Yes.
it's your boys are 2 years apart.
They're just under 2 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
so for a time we had It's called 2 Under 2. It's
okay.
It's in the parenting
Nice.
Yeah.
community.
'Cause I think all three of us have siblings that are around, like,
That was kind of
close
part
siblings,
of it.
yeah.
As does my wife. My wife, her sister is just under, or just over 2 years older than she is.
Okay.
And my brother is just over 2 years younger than me. And I've always said, it's so cool to have someone in your life who is like the one person who knows what it's like to be you.
Yeah.
Right? Who has had your life, at least for 18 years or whatever.
You've literally known each other your entire life.
Entire life.
Yeah.
Everything your parents did, they also experienced. So, I wanted that for Oscar and another one. So yeah, we definitely were like, we want to do.
Nice.
No,
I was afraid because I didn't want that to sound like was he an accident?
I will say it was a bit of a surprise. I mean, we totally planned on having two, and we knew it was around the same time. But it was a surprise in that. Shouldn't we be talking about movies?
We should. Anyway, yeah, we can.
I'll just real quick, and I'll even find a segue here.
Okay, sweet.
It was a surprise in that my brother and his wife they got married a couple years ago. They were ready to have kids, and because we're older, we kind of have done things first, and we didn't want to have our second child before they had their first. Right? We didn't want to steal that thunder.
Sure.
Okay. So we're on vacation last year, 4th of July, week of 4th of July, and we're playing a game around the table, and my sister-in-law, Brooke, who I just adore, she's so awesome. It's her turn in the game, and we're playing, that mouth game where you have that, like, your mouth is open, and you're trying to, like, read the card that your mouth is like, anyway, listeners.
I haven't played that one, no.
No.
I think might be making it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so she announced to my brother that they were pregnant. And we're like, oh, that's all cool.
That's
okay, so
amazing.
they had the baby. They're going to have the baby. And so that was like on a Wednesday. And on like the following Sunday, when we get home, Amanda tells me that she's pregnant.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay. So it's like, so technically, we didn't wait until the first kid. It just so happened that it was a week. So my wife and my sister-in-law were a week apart the entire pregnancy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then so my niece, Ray.
Named after Star Wars? Was that intentional or
influenced by? Certainly.
Okay.
They're both Star Wars fans. My brother and his wife Brooke are both Star Wars fans, and they kind of wanted that strong girl type name, and they wanted it to be kind of a masculine name. And so they picked Ray, and we just think that's the coolest name. Anyway, Ray was born on March 2nd at 5-ish p.m. Howie was born March 5th at 5 a.m.
Oh my God.
60 hours apart.
That's so awesome.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just
so they're the twins.
nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like, they're gonna grow up,
I know. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
We're going to wait till they're 18 for us to tell them that we switched them. When they were
Nice. That's funny.
born. So we should talk about movies.
Yes.
Speaking of my children and speaking of movies, we are like super hippie parents. So we waited a year before Oscar watched any TV, any screens.
Wow.
He did not look at a TV. Even when I was like watching football and he was awake, I would like turn him away from the
Really?
TV. We were super.
See,
That's too much, and I know that's too much, but we just wanted to see.
right. Well, something that's not to interrupt, but like I was
okay.
listening to one of our older episodes. Like I think it was last year when you were on for Pirates of the Caribbean. When I
Right.
came to
Yep.
visit you.
Okay.
And like I remember you mentioning, or I think it may have been the year in review episode, but I remember you mentioning like you don't do screens while Oscar's awake. And I'm like,
Yes.
that's such an interesting concept because I
Yeah.
it's easy to just be like, okay, well here's a screen,
Now that said,
give mommy and daddy some
yes.
a break.
Now that said, because we do let Oscar watch stuff now, the TV's on while Howie's awake. So
Yeah.
we kind of have like it's these. I mean, kids are an experiment just to see the different, like the different things you'll do with them, to them over time. Yeah. It's just, and I don't know if it will make his brain better. We just were like, some people we admire said don't let him watch it, so we're like, okay, we won't. So anyway, we put on his first movie ever.
Oh my god, this is gonna be awesome!
While we're on vacation, so we had to choose his first movie ever, and to me, I wanted it to be a little inconsequential.
Okay.
Right? I didn't want it to be something super important to me. I didn't want it to be kind of this huge deal. I wanted it to be something that we could say, yeah, the first movie you ever saw was blank, and I'll tell you in a second because I know you can't wait. I'm not going to tell you. Hold on.
I was just going to say, was it The Dark Tower since it's so inconsequential?
No.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
But I wanted to show him something that I was okay with him like being done with after 20 minutes.
Okay.
And he was. Like he watched 20 minutes and he was over it. So we put on vacation Finding Nemo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And he was into it.
Nice.
He was into it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes and then he just walked away. After a while he wasn't into it. And then so the other night I'm just so tired of watching like the stupid. He likes this thing on YouTube of just like colors of cars, and they go down this slide. This is really bad radio. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Skip ahead. Put in a disclaimer if you want to hear interesting stuff. Skip ahead to the 25-minute mark. My God, and so it's cars that just like go into water or go into paint and they come out of it. It's so stupid. Okay. And he just watches it and it's mindless. I'm like, no, let's watch a movie. So we started Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, interesting.
He got about 10 minutes into that and he didn't love it. He just kept saying cars. And not Pixar,
right,
but like his show.
Yeah.
The Cars show. And then, so a couple days later, I was like, you want to watch Panda again? He's like, yeah, Panda. I'm like, okay. Nice. So we watched a little bit more of Panda. So he does this thing where, oh my God, I'm such a dad, like telling his son stuff. Fuck. I'm so lame. Whatever. Having kids is great. He'll do this thing where like he's pretending to be on a phone. And so like he's talking to someone and he'll go, the cars, and Bum Bum. And why? So like he watches this show called Little Baby Bum and he calls it Bum Bum. And he watches this like show called Super Y, which is a cartoon of this kid whose name is Wyatt, and they ask questions and so he watches Cars and Bum Bum and Y. And he goes, Cars and Bum Bum and Y. Bye. And he'll put the phone down. It's the cutest thing. And the other day he goes, it's Cars and Bum Bum and Y and Panda. Bye. I'm like, yes!
Nice.
Panda.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So
he made it.
Has he not yet seen like a movie to completion?
No, God.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because he's 2
It's gonna take
now.
a while.
He's 2. Yeah. He just turned 2 in June.
How long do you think it will be before like you
I don't know, man.
Finish?
I'm so... my guess is another year.
Okay.
At least. Mm-hmm. At least.
See, that'll be interesting, because like now we have it documented, like, the first movie.
I know. It's kind of why I said it. I wanted it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, and I know that I've said before on the podcast, I want... the ones that are important to me, I want to make sure that he watches them. Like the first time he watches E.T., I want him to be old enough to care about it the way I cared about it when I was 4 or 5.
One of your babysitter movies, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Good callback. Yeah, I want that stuff to matter.
Oh yeah,
I want him to remember whatever Lion King, because Lion King is important to me.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
he had like there's.
Mac and me, the essentials.
Mac and me.
There's a blank canvas of first experiences to be had with both your kids with movies. Like that's
that. I feel like non-obsessive viewers, they don't really care about that.
Yeah.
When I talk to people about movies, and there are a lot of movie fans, and I'm not going to discredit anybody for like because they watch fewer movies than we do. That's so ridiculous. Yeah. But like, when I'm like, do you know what the first movie you ever saw was? They're like, no.
I don't even know I don't know what the first movie I ever saw was.
Oh, really?
What was the first movie you guys remember seeing? Or the first movie that you guys remember having an impact on you?
Well, let me say, so mine was Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Only because my mom knows that. And I'm so thankful that she wanted to remember what my first movie was.
Yeah.
Man, that she made note that it was Little Mermaid, so she could tell me, when I was 10, what was the first movie? It was Little Mermaid. And then my brother's was Hook, and I remember going to Hook.
Yeah.
When he was 4, I would have been 6. And I just care about that stuff so much. I want to know, okay, Oscar, so the first movie you ever tried to watch was Finding Nemo.
Right.
The first movie you watched the whole movie to was whatever, Toy Story.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that kind of...
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, I know. Well, you mentioned Pulp Fiction, but that was, to answer your question, it's one of the movies that changed my life.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk about movies that made us love movies,
absolutely.
Scream, for me, it's Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
In high school.
Well, for most of us, it's a Disney movie because
it's got
and for me, it was actually Little Mermaid was huge for me, but I think the one that really captured me was actually Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Ironically,
nice.
which is it's a little embarrassing now, but
it's a little feminine for a little boy in the 80s.
It's a great
today,
movie,
yeah,
Right.
it is great.
yeah, it's a great movie. Like it holds up really well.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you know what your first?
It's funny. I probably I don't know. Because I get jumbled with the timeline, which I think is just my shitty memory. But I secretly hope that I'm eventually like a time traveler, so that's what's jumbling my memory.
Yeah.
Right.
You are.
Yeah.
You just haven't invented it yet.
Exactly.
Right. And this is the B timeline.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, probably if I think back to the earliest movie that I remember having an impact, probably The Lion King.
Yeah, that's up there for me too.
Particularly the Stampede scene, like that.
Oh, okay. So the first huge emotional reaction to a movie.
Yeah, not so much because of the drama of it, just like the thought of the Stampede is gonna come and get me. Like that's how I'm gonna die.
Oh my God.
That was a very dark childhood.
I have a lot. I think I have a lot of those moments. I remember Lion King very vividly, but not so much for me, but because it was my cousin Johnny's first movie.
Oh, nice!
Right, and we took him to that, and that was kind of a big deal for him to see the Lion King. And my God, I love the Lion King so much.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Aladdin was one my mom took me to see in theaters.
Okay.
That was 92, so I would have been 5 or 6, depending on when we saw it. So Aladdin was huge. We saw Neverending Story.
Okay.
And that was freaking mind blowing to us. When I say us, I'm talking about my mom. She was always really into showing me those kinds of movies.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember I didn't see Jurassic Park in theaters. I'd have been too young.
Yeah.
But I do remember my babysitter rented it for us on VHS and like crying beautiful tears at the end scene where it plays the theme and the T-Rex does the hero roar and the sign comes down when dinos walk the earth. I remember crying at the power of that scene. Like,
wow.
That's dinosaurs.
Me and Feckus referenced that scene like when we reviewed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, because there's a scene that in that movie that I wouldn't say has the same impact, but just the imagery of the scene in the new Jurassic World is like, it has that kind of emotional beat to an extent.
Oh, there's I think intentional callbacks
to
some of that stuff. By the way, have you heard, and this is a spoiler, huge spoiler.
Okay.
You have not seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Do you want to do earmuffs?
I don't care.
Don't care.
Yeah.
So, spoiler, stop listening for like 30 seconds, hit your 30-second button on your phone, or your 15-second, hit it 3 times right now, and I promise we'll come back. That Brachiosaurus, have you heard the director, I think it was actually Colin Trevorrow, came out and said it, that's supposed to be the first one that Alan Grant sees when we first see a dinosaur on screen.
Oh, man.
Really?
So as you see it, I'm so sorry, die in the volcano, that's the one from 1993. Because that's the first on-screen dinosaur we see.
Yeah.
It's that one. They use the same character model.
See,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That not like getting that knowledge gave me more of an emotional anything than anything in that movie did.
Yeah.
Like that movie
I know,
was
me
just
too.
garbage to
It
me.
was garbage.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 spoiler over.
Yeah.
Welcome back to it.
I remember, speaking of watching Jurassic Park on VHS, that's how I saw it for the first time as well. Watched it with the family, and for whatever reason, I don't recall why we watched it like during the week instead of like, like Friday or Saturday was like, let's run a movie night, Blockbuster or Red Giraffe. Do you remember Red Giraffe?
I do remember Red
Yeah.
Giraffe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, why does that sound...
Was that a chain?
Is that I don't know.
I don't
so
know.
weird because I think me and Feckus referenced Red Giraffe last
Really?
week, but
We had West Coast Video in Chicago.
Okay, yeah.
oh yeah, I
that
think
was.
we had West Coast Video too. Didn't
We had the West Coast, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, Red Giraffe was I maybe just at a local chain or maybe just a one store that was here in Speedway in a strip mall. It was a rental store. It was awesome. Anyways, it was usually on Friday or Saturday night, but we were watching that like during the week on like a Tuesday night, and so we had to watch it in like two parts. So like
'cause
we
bedtime?
watched half of it and had to go to bed. And so where my parents stopped it was right after the T-Rex attacks the explorers.
Oh my
That's where they said, okay, well, we gotta go to bed. And I was like, I didn't go to sleep till like 2:00 in the morning because I was so fucking excited.
so
I was like,
awesome.
I was like, that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
That T-Rex just destroyed those two cars, and that's where the movie just like a rocket ship takes
yeah.
off.
It's that scene. I mean, in film, it's one of the greatest scenes of all time.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
incredible.
Of all time. The
And-
suspense is so insane
Yes.
that they keep that suspense aloft for, what is that scene, 15 minutes long?
Yeah.
Maybe 20?
Crazy
And
long.
What I love about it is that it's, like the pace of the movie is somewhat patterned after Jaws. Like we
Yeah.
don't see Jaws until we don't see the actual shark until halfway
Right.
through the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly halfway through Jurassic Park that we see the T-Rex.
Yes.
And like I just love that Steven Spielberg did that like little thing. Like,
It's so good.
He knows what he's doing.
And they build up to it for so long. You see all the majesty of the dinosaurs, and there's all this controversy about, is this a good idea? Should we really be doing this?
Yeah.
And then it just hits you in the face like, we should not have done
it's not
this.
a good idea.
Was not a good idea. Yeah.
It's so good that I don't care that the level of the ground outside of the gate changes depending on the scene. Right?
Yeah.
That the T-Rex is on level.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
such
right.
a ubiquitous like movie.
Yeah.
Oops, people know now, but
Yeah.
Right.
it's still, you can still even overlook it because
Oh,
that
yeah.
scene is just
Oh, absolutely.
so good.
Totally.
I kind of like this theme that we're on.
Oh, I
here.
know.
I know.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
yeah.
So, in the spirit of tomorrow, I don't know when this episode comes out, Matt, but tomorrow will be Friday the 13th.
That's true.
Which is, if you're a horror fan, it's like a bonus Halloween.
Yeah.
And as listeners know, I'm a huge horror movie fan. Very excited for tomorrow. I'm a little bummed that I'm not going to be home until later.
Right.
I'm going to have to find a way to watch a couple of Friday the 13th movies. But I will, I promise. Another one, of course, that I've recounted on this podcast that had a huge impact on me was Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes.
Right? Do you remember
I
my
remember the
brother and the
story.
I'm Jason
Yep.
story? My God. And I can count that on the like young, impactful stories because again, I was way too young to have seen this movie in first grade. I don't remember how old I would have been in first grade, but I guess 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I saw the first
Wow.
half of Jason Goes to Hell before I couldn't stand it anymore.
I remember seeing that when I was in 6th grade at a sleepover at a friend's house.
Oh,
Yeah, and like it was one of the like I don't retain any of the information from it because it's long ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But like I remember watching that and one of the whichever Child's Play movie has them at military school.
the third one.
Oh,
The third one.
Yeah,
Say
Child's
which one
Play
is
3,
that?
which is garbage.
Real-
The
yeah.
second one is so good. And just the
yeah.
realm of sequels, I really like Child's Play 2. Have you guys seen Curse and Cult of Chucky?
I haven't. No.
No.
My dudes. It's so good.
What is that?
Really?
Seriously. So they're the ones that had to go direct to VOD.
Okay.
Right? We got 3, which was really terrible, and then Bride of Chucky, which was like of its era, and I think better than people remember it, but still pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And then Seed of Chucky is an abomination. But these, so Curse of Chucky came out in, I'm just popping off, and I want to say it was 2015.
Okay.
It came out in 15, maybe 14, and man, it's so good. It's like a soft reset on the series tonally. Okay. So it's like scary. Whereas, the last 2 had been camp and funny, but Curse of Chucky is scary. It's got like elements of like haunted house horror where like for the first half of the movie, you don't even see Chucky and like creepy stuff is going on. It's very, familial. Some really great gore if you're a gore hound like I am. And then, so I'll just say now that people have seen it and I don't want to, I guess I better not spoil, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the female lead of Curse of Chucky is played by Fiona Dourif, who is Brad Dourif's daughter. Brad Dourif being, one of the big horror celebrities.
I was
The
just trying
voice
to-
of Chucky.
Just trying to think of his name.
Yeah, Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky.
That's cool.
Which is so cool.
Arguably the best part of the character is the voice.
Absolutely.
His voice it's so scary.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're totally right. So it's cool to have his daughter in it, and she's great, and
Nice.
it's so good. And then Colt is a direct sequel to it, and same tonal. She's in it. Alex Vincent, the kid who played the kid in the first one,
No shit.
is in it.
Wow.
As an adult. He's not a great actor now.
Does he still have the chili bowl haircut?
No, that'd be great.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're really good.
Nice.
I would check those out.
So
Does Brad Dourif do the voice still?
Oh, Chucky still does.
Nice. That's
Yep.
great.
Okay.
That's great.
now, Mike, if I could just give you a chance.
I'm
to
sorry,
plug
this is
something.
such a Mike centric episode.
no, you're
next time I'm
here.
on, I won't. I won't be.
Next time you're on, you won't be on. You'll be the Ant-Man of the podcast. Every episode, you're in it. You're just silent, like Ant-Man's small. I don't know, but
I was gonna say of the fact that Ant-Man and the Wasp hardly was about. I did not like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
oh man,
Really?
Yeah.
You liked it so much.
Well,
I just felt like it was 3 plots that didn't.
It's a lot of like, okay, now we need to do this. Now we need to do this.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, yeah.
Ask your question.
Okay. If our listeners wanted to find a new way to follow you on a website that, we...
You talking about my Bandcamp? My Bandcamp website?
We can go with that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What is your Bandcamp website?
On YouTube? You mean follow my band on YouTube?
Or follow your watching movies and stuff.
Bandcamp is just as good as it gets. That you can just Google us.
Oh, okay.
That's a
I
joke.
thought you were saying
No, he's
Bandcamp
talking
is as
about
good as it gets.
Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
We'll
gave him the
see.
spiel.
We'll see.
I think
It's a great way to track stuff.
Yeah.
You use it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to go back. I'm excuse me. I'm anxious about backlogging
Yeah.
back to 08 because that's what I want to see is all that stuff. But oh my God, do I really want to?
So if one of our listeners wants to,
God, I am Mike White. It's the same as my Twitter.
yes,
That's pretty much
I was
me.
saying if one of our listeners wants to do some data entry for free.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not going to do that either. Backlog.
yeah. I'm willing to pay a penny per movie
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Penny per movie.
since 08.
yeah.
That's probably
September
like
08.
that's probably $7 or $8. Well, shit, that's probably $12.
Probably.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hey.
Yeah.
Got to make your earnings some way. We can have an intern that does it. We should.
I'd pay someone $20 to log all that in.
We should get interns
Wow.
for the podcast. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah,
I'm
to have
still waiting.
money
I would
for
rejoin the podcast full time.
Oh yeah. If we had interns.
Do we want to go back to the childhood? Like, did we develop a topic here, or do we want to just stick with potpourri?
I think extended potpourri just
Okay.
because some of that stuff is redundant with stuff we've already talked about in the podcast before.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll bring us into it. So yeah, follow Mike on Letterboxd at I am Mike White, and if you want to earn $20, $50, $20,
$30.
$30. Okay, I'll kick in 10, so $40. To log all of Mike's stuff for him and tag them because that's the important thing too.
You start a Kickstarter for Mike's Letterboxd,
right? Just email us. But anyway,
let's do classic potpourri now.
Okay, yes.
I've been talking so much, so. Let's go. You guys tell me some stuff you've been watching.
Okay, great. So, well, actually, yeah.
Look at me come on for the first time in months and go, here's what we're going to do. You're going to sit there.
The show.
Hey, welcome to the Mike Show featuring the obsessive viewers.
Well, have you guys seen Annihilation yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wait,
I saw your
spoiler alert. It's probably top 3 of the year.
It's going to be
for
up there
me.
for me. I need to see it again.
Have you seen it?
Funny.
It's going to be tops for both of you guys.
It's going to be up there.
Have you seen it?
Okay, yeah.
I've looked.
Did you not love it?
I did not. I didn't like it at all.
I've looked through Tiny's Letterboxd, his diary, and I've been very eager to hear what your thoughts are.
Because you too?
Annihilation.
Top 3?
Oh, it's going to be maybe not top 3, probably top 5.
Okay. There's been some good stuff since.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I will say that the music in it, that one melody or whatever that's throughout the trailer that plays kind of toward the end in the lighthouse, that is such an earworm for me. I love that as a piece of musical score. But Tiny, you hated it.
Hate is a strong word. I didn't like it. I think I just have some kind of disconnect with Alex Garland's style.
Yeah.
I mean, since Sunshine and since 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I don't think he had any.
Did he write 28 Weeks Later?
No, I don't think he
just producer.
Yeah, just producer.
Okay. Well,
28 weeks
28
later
weeks. He
is that
wrote 28 days.
Did
later.
Danny Boyle direct that as well?
No, 28 Weeks Later was I can't remember his name.
I've still never seen that.
Alex Garland wrote
It's
28
okay.
Days Later, right?
He did.
Okay.
Correct.
So I love 28 Days Later, and I love Sunshine, but since then it's just been a downward
really?
curving.
'cause you weren't
I
crazy
think
about
I had
Ex
Ex
Machina.
Machina on the top of my list.
Yeah, I put it on my year. It may have been an honorable mention. I don't think I put it in my top 10. Ex Machina.
I still haven't
But-
seen Dread.
Part of that was
yeah.
was almost like peer pressure because everybody loved Ex Machina. I was like,
Right.
I was like, I thought it was okay. It was kind
Yeah.
of good. Like there's plenty about it to like, but still, I wasn't. Everyone else was like, oh man, it's great, one of the best movies of the year, and I didn't feel that way about it. And this, I just thought I do not understand what was good about this movie. It had a lot of visual appeal to it, and I think it had some of the dynamics at play were kind of interesting. Like the all-female, mostly female cast was really interesting. I love Oscar Isaacs. I can't get enough of that guy. But I don't understand. I didn't really understand what happened. I didn't understand what was going on. And I don't feel like it's because I wasn't picking up on something. I feel like it's because in a lot of themes or ideas that were attempted to be introduced to the audience in that movie just did not land at all for me.
Sure.
I didn't pick up on any. In the ending, I was just like, "Fuck this movie." I was so mad at the ending.
Yeah.
Which he has kind of perfunctory endings, anyways. That's the way he writes them or whatever. Which is fine, but I don't know. I just really didn't like the movie. I don't understand what was so good about it.
Well,
what did you guys like about it?
I'll give you that he is particularly withholding when it comes to clarifying plot points for most of the movie.
Right.
And I'll give that to you. I mean, I did end up I liked what the film had to say a lot, and I was able to track it. But at times where I was frustrated because I didn't quite understand what was going on, then he would interject, I thought, a really cool sci-fi scene. So I'd be like, okay, what's going on? And it's, oh, that's awesome. Like the scene with the bear creature was so terrifying.
That was creepy. That was good.
When it screams and you
speaks,
hear
yeah.
the person and you see the human skull in there. Oh man.
That was good. That was good.
One of, if not one of the most effective thrilling moments I've seen in a movie this year.
Well, just such a cool, unique creature that you don't see in a lot of things was really cool.
That's true. I'll give you that. That was an awesome part.
And
yeah.
I mean, I know it was based on a source material, so I'm not going to say it was an entirely original idea. But anytime there's new, weird sci-fi, I'm into it. Just because, I mean, I love the Marvel movies, but there's just so much of that we're guaranteed so many per summer. That's like, oh, geez, that like there's not enough room for new stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to qualify how much I loved Annihilation, but maybe I give it more credit than it deserves because there's just not a whole lot of movies like it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think it's something that I need to revisit it, but it's one of those movies that's just, it's unique. And part of what I found appealing about it was that it is, like I said, it is unique. It has a unique premise. From what I understand, it is, very loosely based on the source material because the source material is like a trilogy of books. And
Correct.
I think that the way I understand it is I think that it's like, well, I don't know if I don't know, but it's a very loose adaptation. But I mean, it's this movie about scientists going into this very bizarre thing and learning about like how it's adapting and evolving and everything. Also, it's a female-driven cast, which you don't see a lot of, and it just some of the more thrilling aspects were very creepy and held my attention. I will give you this, Tiny. I didn't understand a lot of it, and it got kind of a little crazy. I do take issue with the whole. I don't like this in movies in general, but like the whole like, oh, this is what happened. Like the opening scene of the movie being like, this is what happened. Tell us, or tell us what happened, and then the whole movie's like, oh, they're recounting what happened. So
that's
like,
getting a little tropey these days. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, and to add insult to injury, they had Benedict Wong in that role, and like I love him. He's a great actor. It's like he's got nothing.
Right.
Yeah, so, but I really enjoyed it. The concepts, even if they were like, even if some of them were over my head, I just love the visual style and it seemed like a movie that will repeat or reward repeat viewings, and that's the kind of science fiction I love.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to my one time I'll rewatch it after I buy it on Blu-ray or digital or whatever.
I felt like at the climax of the movie towards the end there, I could not shut it off fast enough. Like during the denouement, I was like, I can't wait for this to be over with because I don't know. Because it builds up to this moment without spoiling it. It builds up to this, this journey they're on and getting to the conclusion. They build up to it so much, and you get there, and I don't feel like you really get answers, or it's too open to interpretation almost. Yeah. I didn't even really care about interpreting it because I was like, I just thought that was really dumb. I really just didn't care for it.
If you're definitely not tracking it from the beginning, I can see that ending dragging a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really just going on. Again, I did. So I want to make it clear that I did enjoy it a lot, and I really followed it through the ending too. But I can see being like, man, I'm not into this. Yeah. I get it. The climax has initiated, and I'm over it. Oh boy, let's get this over with because it does. Right. It goes on.
Yeah,
I
really enjoyed the theme of mimicry throughout it. How the like the human Hawks genes, that part, and then like you said, the bear mimicking the last thing it heard or whatever. And then the ending. I don't want to spoil that, but there's mimicry involved there, and it's. That was an interesting theme throughout the movie that I did appreciate, and like how it's hard to talk about without spoiling it, but
right.
How an alien organism, I guess, or whatever, I don't know, or how a different unknown organism works off of mimicry. That was kind of a cool sci-fi concept. I did appreciate that, but I think part of it too was that I basically forced my wife to watch it because I was like, I gotta watch this movie. Like everybody's talking about it.
That's hard.
Yeah, and she,
when you can tell someone else isn't into it.
Yeah, it's not her kind of movie, and she hated it even more than I did. And I knew she wasn't gonna like it, but I thought she might at least find something in there. But because like I forced her to watch like Mad Max Fury Road, and I was like, she's gonna fucking hate this.
Oh, did she hate it?
She didn't like it. Yeah. it's just not her kind of movie.
Okay.
She's a pretty straightforward kind of movie person. She's
Yeah.
not real, and that's kind of she wasn't into it, but I loved that movie.
Yeah.
So like that doesn't.
Man, that's one of those that I mean, I guess it is super like cars and dudes and action,
Yeah.
Right.
But it's
it's also-
like I feel like that movie's so accessible. They just drive from one end of the plot
Right.
back.
Well,
Literally.
and see,
Literally, it's so awesome.
I haven't seen it since I saw it the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and for some reason, like, I had gift cards for Google Play, and it was on sale, so I got, like, a digital copy of it and the black and chrome version, the black and white one, and, like, I haven't even brought myself to watch it again, because
I don't get the Chrome version. I think
really.
Yeah.
I also have the noir edition of, Logan. I haven't watched that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, I just still, like, I didn't really care for Fury Road just because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
we both loved it that year, right?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you saw it before we did. Like, I think
Yeah.
Matt and I waited a while to see it.
right.
Okay.
Like, I
We
think you
talked
saw it in
about it on the
theaters, right?
podcast.
I did. I saw it week of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember Feckus saying that, like,
I know that it was on my list that year.
I was a little lukewarm on the first time I saw it, but then I watched it again and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? It was one of those.
Yeah.
And I think Feckus.
I just think that movie's huge.
Feckus told us that, like, I think he said that he thinks he thought that a large contributing factor as to why we were not completely excited about it because we didn't see it in the theater.
And I agree.
He was like, it was a theater movie, like,
Yes.
Yeah.
which
It
I think
was.
he's right.
And like,
Well,
I
and
mean,
even my second viewing of it, it was like recalling the theater,
Okay.
right? Like
Nice.
and by saying that I wasn't a fan of it, that's not to discredit or downplay the massive achievement it was as a movie in terms of just sheer movie making.
Yeah, for an old man to
for
make
an
too.
Yeah.
Old man, like he was in his he was like 82 when or something
Really?
like that.
Yep.
Ridiculous. Like that feat is just it's awe-inspiring. My problem is just at a story level, I was checked out. I just like Mike said, it's go one place, go back to the other place, and then I was just like, all right, cool. But yeah,
Okay. So yeah, I almost want to see Annihilation again, just like on my own or something like that. Which I need to do with Ex Machina too. I've
Yeah.
only seen it the one time.
jeez.
I need to do that. I don't know if I don't know. I'm just not. It's like between Alex Garland and I, there's just some kind of disconnect, I think.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
Yeah.
And like I can't. There's nothing in your critique of it that I can't really counter with it. Like I get
Yeah.
it. I totally get it. So yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Should I go next?
Yeah,
Do
go
it,
for
man.
it.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do want to bring this up as a general conversation. Because Mike, we had this. Yeah, we had a light conversation about this, and me and Feckus talked a lot about it last week. But AMC brought out A-List as their kind of competing subscription service to MoviePass. Now, Mike, you are currently a MoviePass member at the $10 a month price point.
Correct.
And they have... What's your experience been? How long have you had it? And what's your general experience been? I know you've talked about it a little bit. I do remember that you mentioned that occasionally you will give your phone and your card to your wife and she'll go see a movie.
So when it first came out, at the significantly higher price point.
Yeah. Well, I had it in like 2016 or
Yes,
15.
that one.
Yeah. That was like $30 a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's too much for something I'm not so sure about. Right? For a format that I really don't understand the business model.
Right.
I really don't understand how it works. I still don't. And then that kind of went away, and I was like, well, okay, good. All those people signed up for it. Now it's gone. Haha, told you so. And then it came back out at $10 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, even if it goes under, even if it doesn't work, I am spending otherwise something like $50 a month on movies because I go every week. Right. And so I was like, I have to at least try it. So I have, and aside from like my own anxious hang-ups, you know, I have a lot of anxiety with just with being alive, but but
I feel
stuff,
your pain.
but stuff like that, you know, making movies on time and are there going to be enough seats? Am I going to get to sit next to my friend? Am I going to be able to sit to the left of my friend? Am I going to have to wait till he gets there? And you know, just anxious people. You're shaking your head because we're both have anxieties like that. So that stuff stresses me out. MoviePass is not good for that kind of thing. It's not good for like, if you have to see this movie at this time, well, you know, hopefully you'll get the movie you want. So that said, so far I haven't, like, none of those anxieties have been confirmed. I've been able to see every movie I want to see. I haven't had to pay for any of the premium.
Which that's a recent, like within the last 2 weeks.
It is last 2 weeks or so.
Surge pricing.
There have been times where, let's say, I don't want to, like when Last Jedi came out. You have to buy the ticket at the theater. You have to be within 30 yards, and it has to be within 30 minutes of that time. So I couldn't pre-order tickets to Last Jedi. And so, you know, wanting to see Last Jedi on opening night at 8 o'clock is quite impossible. Because those tickets are almost sold out.
Right.
Yep.
So when Last Jedi came out, we saw Coco, which I think I said on the year
mentioned
end.
that, yeah.
Year end. So other than that, it's been okay. It's still this time bomb that I think is going to go off.
Oh yeah.
The business model it seems like no way.
See, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, do you guys want me
Really?
to shed some light on this?
So the reason they dropped the price is because their business model, the way they make money is they can calculate within a reasonable margin of error that there are going to be a percentage of people who get the subscription and either never see a movie or hardly ever see a movie, hardly ever use it.
Correct.
So at $30 a month, you're that percentage of people who have a membership and are never going to use it is much smaller than it is at $10 a month. Because people are like, well, it's $30, I'm never going to use it. But if people are like, well, it's only $10. So it'll kind of force me to watch more movies. And then it doesn't force them to watch more movies. And so that's $10 is all profit for them. And so like, they lose a shit ton of money on you and Matt.
Right.
They did not design that service for you. They designed it for it's a similar business model to gym memberships.
Yeah.
People who get a gym membership and never go.
Right.
But
That's what their business model.
Yeah, and there is another wrinkle
the gym
to
is
it.
expensive.
Right.
Can be, yeah.
Depends.
Can be, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, Fitness 19 or whatever with the $12.
Right.
That's crazy.
Planet
but that's
Fitness
that
is like-
idea,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That these people who don't want the glossy gym are going to go to the gym.
Yep.
Well, there's another reason for its business model and how it could possibly be sustainable. Because even with that business model, like that price point can't. I don't see how that price point can possibly make it sustainable though. Like, because that's too inexpensive. Because like you see one movie, you've paid for your month.
They are.
But sorry.
If the price point is $10, they're losing money on one ticket at my theater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
see, so here, let me ask you
You
this.
think enough people?
Well, there's another reason that they're surviving.
Okay.
It's because the company their parent company that bought them like a year or two ago is a data collection or data something company. So they're making money
selling
just
metadata.
getting data, like compiling data and selling it. I don't know what kind it is, but, and I mentioned this last week with Fecus, that parent company, as of a couple weeks ago, is trading below $1 on the NASDAQ. So it's
Dang.
like it's in danger of getting pulled. And like MoviePass they just recently put out some, I don't know the business term for it, but put out a thing where they're basically wanting an influx of capital to keep themselves profitable. They're asking for $2 billion so that they can stay afloat and actually be profitable and everything. Which this is all to say that like I haven't had MoviePass in like 2 years or 3 years, however long it's been. But I did jump on AMC A-List, and that's because I just it's perfect for me because like Mike said, I basically when I had MoviePass, like I would go see movies like Kirsten, former guest that was on a couple weeks ago, she and I would go see a movie every weekend, and like I would have to get to the theater early, get the ticket while she got her ticket, and then they got reserved seats. So it's like, okay, we need to pick a seat that's next to each other, and like that. Man.
I'm like grinding my teeth.
Yeah,
thinking about the anxiety of that.
In the theater that we go to is I'm on the west side. We go to the south side because that's the best AMC theater. So it's like it's a bit of a drive for me. I'm not a punctual person. Perfect example. We had tickets to see which movie was? Oh, it was Ant-Man and the Wasp on Saturday. I get on the interstate. I leave half an hour early. Gives me plenty of time to get there. There is bumper to bumper construction. I did not. The screening was at 7:15 or I think 7 o'clock. I got there at 7:15. Like I missed most of the previews. Like granted, I had my ticket and everything, but like if I had to do MoviePass, like, hey, she was at the theater. She would have had to refund her ticket, get a different ticket for a different time, and we would have like an hour to kill. Like terrible.
I know.
But AMC A-List, and I'm not trying to sell it to you, Mike, or anything, because that's no reason. But like, are you familiar with how
my new house? I'm gonna live 6 minutes away from Showplace. So I'm not going to go to AMC,
See, that's the thing. Like, there's no, like, that's what a lot of people, like, online are complaining about. Like, well, that just confines you to AMC. Like,
right.
I don't have that problem because, like, I clicked the tags on my Letterboxd, and, like, I've seen since 2013 in the theater, I've seen 271 movies. 164 of those have been AMC's. And, like, it makes sense for me. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know how long MoviePass is going to survive because they have their surge pricing tonight or this afternoon, and then also Friday when Ant-Man came out, when a Marvel Studios movie came out, MoviePass went down. Like it
really?
Had an outage.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and like it's insane. Like people could not buy their ticket, which like okay. First world problem. Yeah. Pay the $10 for a ticket. It's frustrating because you're there and everything. But also, like, they had, like, Mike, what's the deal with, like, taking pictures of the ticket stubs? Cause, like,
I don't know. I don't know why they added it, but after you pay for a movie and you get your ticket, you then have to take a picture of your ticket and send it to MoviePass.
Is that every ticket?
Every ticket. It's an in-app process. I mean, it's part of you pay for your thing, you confirm, and then the next thing that pops up is take a picture of your ticket. But it's
still
more
stupid.
tedium.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and they said, like, and this is just going off of strictly Facebook comments, so grain of salt, but like, when they had their outage, like their social media will say, like, well, if you have to pay out of pocket, keep your receipt, take a picture of it, email it to us, and we'll reimburse you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. A lot of people in the comments were like, yeah, I'm still waiting for that from 6 months ago.
Oh, people waited 6 months for their cars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When they signed up for MoviePass.
See, and it's just...
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Like, go ahead.
I was going to say, another way they make money is, I think you guys are probably operating under the assumption that when you buy a movie ticket, MoviePass pays the theater $10 for that ticket. I guarantee you they don't pay $10 for that ticket.
Oh, really?
It's like an insurance company. Like they don't.
Do you think they're paying the production companies whatever that ticket costs?
I think they're paying for that ticket at a reduced price because like movie theaters are like gas stations where gas stations don't make very much money off the gas. They make money off you coming in there and buying right. And so that's how movie theaters are. They make most of their money off the concessions. So just getting people in the door. It's like, we're only like the movie theater's only taking $6 for that ticket or $7 for that ticket instead of 10, but they're going to buy some popcorn and we have a 90% profit.
Oh,
on
I've heard it's movies sometimes make a quarter, and on a Marvel movie, they don't make anything on a movie ticket.
Yeah, they don't make shit. Yeah, so
right.
it's all the concessions. So you can't sell concessions unless people are there.
Right.
So just to get people in the door, I think they're willing to sell that ticket for $6, $7.
Sure.
So
And like, if I'm not spending $10, $12 on a ticket, I'll spring for the $5 or $6 for a drink. Yeah, absolutely.
and there's people who are like who pay the $10 a month for Movie Pass, and they're like, I haven't seen a movie this month. I need to go see something to get my money's worth.
Oh my God.
So they're still profiting $2, $3, which you multiply that by the 100,000.
Considering that, I've stopped bringing snacks into movies.
Have you?
This is true.
Yeah.
I stopped probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
I'm a grown man with an income. I can
Right.
spend $4, and I even try to tell my students sometimes. They're like, "You buy snacks every week? Doesn't that cost you money?" And I'm like, "Well, a couple things. One, I'm spending it on movie snacks instead of whatever other people are doing. That's just my hobby. And two, I know that the $8 for a thing of popcorn is just keeping that movie theater afloat that I want to be able to keep going to.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
I'll spend $8 for if that's my donation and they'll give me some popcorn for the cost of my donation.
Yeah.
Then I'm willing to give you $8
Yeah.
so I can keep coming to this movie theater.
I feel like this is our topic.
I know.
But
we're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but no, what's interesting is that
Potpourri on steroids.
right.
I still have a movie to talk about.
Oh God. With Tiny's comment about if you have paid $10, I haven't seen a movie. I need to see a movie. AMC A List. You have you can buy 3 tickets a week, and the week starts on Friday. So tomorrow, we're recording this Thursday. Tomorrow the week starts again. I have 1 ticket left this week that I could buy, and I was thinking Mission Impossible Fallout is coming out in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Dolby Theater on the north side. I could go get a ticket to that, and then that'll be my 3rd ticket for the week. And it's just it's weird that I'm thinking that far in advance. But the reason why I brought up this whole thing, twofold. There are a couple things I kind of want to bring up, kind of branch off of that. One is that I'm just fascinated by all of this, in terms of what it's going to do to the movie theater industry.
Yeah.
I don't know if this comparison is apt, but I'm my interest level in it is equal to how interested I was in the Netflix versus Blockbuster kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
And streaming versus rental, that kind of industry or
The economy of it, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of industry shattering thing.
Right.
And then my second thing I want to kind of bring up about this is a concept or a conversation that I heard on another podcast. But do you guys think it will come to a point? Oh, and Mike. Oh, okay. And I'll set you up for a story that I just remembered you were going to tell me.
Hit me.
But do you think that these subscription services, assuming that, okay, AMC has their A-list, let's say Regal, let's say United Artists, whatever other theaters, who owns Showplace down in Evansville?
Showplace.
Showplace.
Yeah.
Showplace has their own
it's a
subscription
private.
service. Say that becomes the norm. What is that going to do to the Joe Q moviegoer who is already having to pay $10 and the kind of quintessential person that I bring up almost every week who will fucking bring out their phone, be obnoxious, not realize that they're in a setting. When every movie ticket is viewed as free because you've paid for a service,
Yes.
does the movie theater become disposable?
Well, assuming that these people are signing up for Movie Pass, which Movie Pass, I'm pointing at you, Tiny, is assuming that they're not. No, that's not true. They want people to sign up for it. They don't want people to go to the theater.
They don't want you to go. Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
only getting worse. We went to go see.
That's what I was going to say.
Talking about. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, because you texted me, or you said,
Let me just say, to give a kind of a quick answer is, I really don't think people are going to be signing up for Movie Pass en masse. I don't see that happening. I don't see families signing up for this. I don't see teenagers signing up for Movie Pass.
Right.
I don't think people are going to sign up for that sort of thing because people aren't going to the movies. I see, I'm starting to think in our lifetime.
Oh, don't say it. Go ahead.
Seeing movie theaters going away.
See,
there's a long way to go because the big blockbusters, my gosh, they're making so much money. So it's hard to say. I mean, I'm really like talking apocalypse level stuff here. And I think probably not in our lifetime. But the way people treat going to the movies, I really do think it's going to have some drastic changes or it's just going away. I mean, we know movie theaters now, just in my town, just in Evansville, they're all converted now to the recliner chairs, to the Royal Suite type experience, which I think to the lay moviegoer is, oh, cool. They're upgrading. Now we can sit in the seat. It's no. There are 150 fewer seats, fewer tickets to sell because those tickets aren't being sold. And you're paying a premium now because there are fewer seats in that theater. Yeah, it might be a nicer experience for you to sit there, but it means fewer people are going to that movie theater. It's like a last desperate cry before they die. So that's a longer answer than I thought.
Oh no, that's fine.
I think you wanted.
It's funny because I mentioned this about Jurassic World. Like with A-list, I can see like IMAX and 3D and all that.
Yeah.
So the timing didn't work out where I could see digital 2D and everything. So I went to an IMAX 3D, which oh my god, I'm not doing it again. 3D, I can't do. Like I mentioned,
3D's over, dude.
I went to the bathroom during it. And then, like, when I'm washing my hands, I'm looking at my reflection, and like my eyes are bloodshot because they're so strained from the freaking glasses.
Yeah, our eyes are not supposed to do that.
Yeah. But and also just the experience was terrible. The movie was terrible. Listen to the episode last week. But,
okay.
The AMC theaters, they didn't upgrade those theaters. The IMAX theaters have the old style ones, and I was so annoyed because I was like, so if I didn't have A-list and I paid like $15, like $3 to $5 more dollars, I would not get a reclined seat and I'd have bloodshot eyes. And
I know.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. But what was your experience?
So, okay. First of all, I doubt any of these people who went to go see The Purge had a movie pass. Okay. The theater was packed. We got there, again, talk about my anxiety. We got there, I don't remember when it started. Let's say the movie started at 8. We got there at like 7:53.
Okay. Which
is way closer than I like to cut it.
Yeah.
But it was like a Tuesday night. It was July 3rd. Right? So it was last week. It was July 3rd. It opened on a Tuesday because, the big opening was 4th of July, whatever. So we went to the 8 o'clock show and got there a little later than I would have liked. And I always go with my friend. We always sit side by side. And there are like 3 seats left in the whole theater by the time we get there. And that doesn't happen to us a lot. A lot of times we wait till the week later to see a show. Sometimes if we really want to see a show, we'll go to like the 10 o'clock just because we know there'll be fewer people there.
Sure.
So there are 3, maybe 4 open seats to this whole thing, none of which are together. Okay? And it's like, oh boy. Okay, I'll take this one, you take that one. And so we even bought, we even like determined which our seats would be. And the cashier picking our seats for us overheard us saying the 2 seats and accidentally gave Jake the seat I was talking about and gave me the seat Jake was talking about, which isn't a big deal, except that even though we were in different rows, I would have been sitting to his right. So on our way to the theater, we switched our tickets because it would have set me off too much to sit on the other side.
Oh my God.
I know. And then so we go to the theater and we're in different rows and I sit down and this guy is talking to me. He's like, so do you like horror movies?
Oh,
no.
God.
And I'm like, oh yeah, man, I've seen a few. He's like, I haven't really seen the other 2, but have you seen the other 2? And I'm like, there's 3.
There's 3.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's and just, oh man, like trying to talk. He's like, so do you watch anime? And I'm like, no,
shit.
I don't really. It's cool, but I don't really. I'm not familiar with anime. He's like, so do you have a favorite? Oh, well, you don't really watch it. I'm like, oh, yeah,
Holy
no,
crap.
I don't. So the entire time, Jake is jokingly texting me. He's like, oh, so you got a new best friend? So you're just going to go to movie nights with him now and talk to him?
Oh, that's
And I'm
great.
like, fuck you. This is the worst movie experience of my life. So this is during the trailers, right? So the movie hasn't started, and this guy's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, okay, if it keeps going, I'm going to have to say to this guy, listen, I don't really like to talk during movies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And so I'm looking back, and the people sitting to Jake's right have not shown up yet. There's like the whole row of empty seats. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to hop up there. Right. So I go and I sit next to his right. Okay. Which is not our usual seats.
Yeah.
But the movie, the trailers start, and we're like, hey, man, this is good. 3 trailers in. All right. Good deal. Okay. So the movie starts, and we nod, and we switch spots, right? So I can sit to his left, and we're like, all right.
Nice.
And so about 10 minutes, I'm not kidding, 10 minutes of the movie, this gaggle of maybe like college age girls shows up.
Fuck.
And I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Why
And
even
so I know at that point, right? So there's maybe like 7 open seats to Jake's right in this row. Right. It's recliner, so there are fewer seats,
right.
11 seats to a row, something like that.
Yeah.
12 seats. And so these 7 girls show, I'm like, fuck. God. And they're like hugging each other and on their phones and laughing about whatever the fuck it was they were talking about as they walked in. They're like, like doing selfies during the movie. 10 minutes in. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And so we're like, oh geez, okay, here we go.
Like every cliche.
I know.
Like
it's
young,
like I didn't know people like this existed anymore.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there, and they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're good. And so we're still good. And then my dudes, 20 minutes into the movie, the last 3 people show up.
No fucking
I'm like,
way.
are you guys kidding with this 20 minutes late? Guess what? They were friends with the other girls. So it was another session of like high-fiving and hugging and taking pictures and this.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
are you kidding me right now? And at that point, I'm like, well, I got to get up and go to my seat.
Right.
Because there's not enough seats. So I go down, and then the guy is like, where'd you go? Where were you?
God.
Did you miss some of the scenes? I'm like, no, man, I saw it. It was good. And he's doing even more quintessential, like, guy who doesn't get it. What did he just squirt at them? So there's a scene where they like light this guy on fire, and one guy down a couple of seats down goes toasty, and it was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
The people in the theater laughed, and then the guy sitting next to me goes, burn, baby, burn, like trying to add on to the joke. And I'm like, oh. And so he would like look at me.
Was he there like by himself?
I don't know. No,
Okay.
I think the person to his right was a friend.
Oh
That
my
makes
God.
it so much
And
more
I
confusing.
know. And he's like looking at me,
my
like
God.
trying to make a joke. And I'm like, hey, and I like shushed him. I've never
Nice.
shushed a stranger before.
Yeah.
Oh my
But I was
God.
like, dude, I don't really talk during movies. And then, toward the end of the movie, he's like, how long do you think this movie is? And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my
long
fucking
enough.
God.
God.
Was he like an older person or
No,
weird?
this is where it makes me really a terrible person. I think he was special.
Like Asperger's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very high functioning,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But just was not great with social cues.
Right,
Sure.
right.
At that point, it's like I'm not super mad at this guy because I could tell
Right.
right away he couldn't help and he was just trying to make a conversation. But I will say, why didn't his friends say,
Yeah.
hey, maybe don't talk during the movie?
Right. Man.
That is a nightmare.
That is
It was pretty bad.
And like all I'm thinking is like that's the pilot for Suite of 4.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I think
God.
I feel like part of that attitude though is I think people treat the horror genre like shit.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. Like
Yeah.
that
They
wouldn't
do.
happen at a screening of The Post. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
topic about
totally.
how people, really
Yeah.
everybody treats
Which is a
horror.
shame.
It is.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
shame, and
Yeah.
that
It is.
not how it should be. But.
Horror as
But I
like a
agree.
spectator genre. Like,
Right.
It's too, and
in the right
man,
context,
this is
it's
so much to
okay.
unpack. In the right context, it is.
Yeah.
Some movies ask for it. Like I think of
Yeah.
a movie like You're Next, which is
Yeah.
asking for commentary and you know, outbursts and just
Yeah.
laughs. It's asking
Clips
for that
and
kind of
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, at times I'm okay with that kind of stuff.
But there's still
That's
an
not what that
etiquette.
was, though.
And
Yeah.
don't you
Yeah.
want in like in a spook show, like a ghost story, don't you want the quintessential loud lady saying, "Oh, don't go in there"?
Yeah.
I kind of want that at times.
Sort of, with the caveat.
In a paranormal activity, don't you want that?
It
Right? Like when
depends
the
on
stakes are
timing.
so low.
They need to have perfect timing. Like,
I guess so.
Okay, like
I guess so.
I would be furious if that happened, like at A Quiet Place, like because that's
For sure.
I mean that's
and they
that's-
didn't, luckily.
Yeah.
Quiet Place, I
That-
think everybody was pretty.
And I'm fully admit like that is an anomaly. That's a different type of suspense movie. But like, yeah, Paranormal Activity, sure, at the right moment.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I have such a problem with that kind of thing
agree.
in theaters. And like to talk about your anxiety about theater experiences and everything. I saw Sicario: Day of the Soldado.
Soldado.
And yeah, I had I got it was in a smaller auditorium. So I got like ticket like E4. And when I got to my seat, there was like two people like immediately to my right. I went by myself, and I realized like when I sat there, I was like, oh, well, this seat's actually a little bit off to the right. Like it's not dead center. And I'm like, there's no one sitting in E5. I'm just gonna hop over, give myself a nice little buffer seat. And then I sat there, and then for the entirety, up until like 10 minutes into the movie, I was not petrified, but I was like, I had that anxiety that like someone's gonna come in, they're gonna have the ticket
hate
for this.
assigned seating.
I'm gonna
I hate it so much.
And like people came in and sat directly next to me, and like the whole time I'm sitting there thinking like, did they have this seat? Were they supposed to be sitting here?
And they're just
yeah. And it's just like
I think he's sitting in my seat.
yeah, I get so in my head, and it's all on me. First of all, because I
You took the seat that's not yours,
took
right?
the seat. Yeah,
I know.
Also, it's all like in my head. Like I'm sure that the people
because
next
some
to me-
people aren't cool about it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There was no indication to the people to my left. Like there was nothing to make me think that was the case. Like that was all my own like neuroses.
I know.
Like yeah.
I am so non-confrontational, so anxious when it comes to that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I've said this before at like a fast food restaurant. Like if they put whatever pickles on my burger,
Yeah.
I apologize to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I think I'm so sorry about this.
I think
I didn't want
asked
pickles
for,
on it, yeah.
but like if somebody's sitting in the seat that I got, I'm like, oh shit, now I
Yeah.
have to confront them.
Right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. Let's compare ticket. I think this is my seat.
Right.
But then you get people who are not like that at all, and they're like, you're in my seat.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, just let me check. Yep. Nope. A6.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
And then no response.
It's tough. It's tough. But so how was the first Purge?
I don't want to talk about that movie. that's not my Potpourri
That's the fourth one?
contribution. That's
Yep.
the fourth one.
Yep.
Fuck it. I would have been like, have you seen the other two? Because I didn't know there was a third one.
There's the Purge,
Okay.
the Purge Anarchy,
Anarchy.
and the Purge Election Year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
This is
forgot
the
about
first
election year.
Purge.
Okay.
Yes.
And isn't there a TV show coming out
There's a TV show coming
Yeah.
on USA?
Yep.
Why USA?
Is it USA? I don't know if it's
think
USA.
so.
Okay, I thought I saw an
I don't
ad
know
for
that it's
it.
not.
Okay.
I that's not confirmed
Ugh.
for me. I didn't hate the series.
Okay.
I'm one of its I'm really a fan of Jason Blum and Blumhouse. I'm a Blumkin. Jake and I.
Oh my god.
We've been Blumkins for a couple years. And
Did you
we're
coin that, or is that something
I did.
that's
I mean, no. some middle schooler somewhere coined that phrase. But to be a fan of Jason Blum and Blumhouse and be a Blumkin, yes,
I
that's
love
something
that.
we,
I love that so much.
I know. We don't say it in front of students, but at work the next day, whenever we see a Blumhouse picture, yeah, we're Blumkins. Did you guys see Upgrade?
Awesome. No. I don't know.
Man, it looks awesome. Though.
Man, it's perfect.
Okay.
Really?
It's so good. See Upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're pretty big Blumkins, and so I always go in just as very apologetic to anything Blumhouse, and it's like I see what the Purge is kind of trying to do. I think sometimes it's super overt in its message. That said, I like the message, so I don't kind of fault it for that. I think it could benefit from some subtlety. I think it could benefit from going a little more extreme, but I also get that it kind of wants the audience that extreme movies don't really warrant all that much, or aren't supported by that. So, like, I kind of get where it's going. But, like, we saw Truth or Dare a couple months ago, and I think the Rotten Tomatoes on that was really terrible.
Yeah,
but,
I've heard horrible things.
We really liked it.
Really?
Really?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm too forgiving, but
And I mean,
Blumkins, I'm so excited for Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Halloween, the movie coming out in October.
Yeah.
I mean, the season itself too. But the fact that Blumhouse is so many stars are aligning for that movie. And this is a whole other episode too.
In the trailer, I mean,
it's perfect.
Holy shit!
Great trailer.
Man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I did mention this, but like I just like in my head, like I have a little bit of a problem with this being the third movie that's titled Halloween. And
that is really bothersome.
Yes,
I'm
because
with you there.
Yeah, because there's the original and then Rob Zombie's remake. Hey, that's fine, but now we have a third one that's a direct sequel to the first one.
Correct.
So it's like,
I know.
Throw a subtitle.
That's such
on
a
there.
thing they're doing now that I can't think of an earlier version of that, but I do know that Texas Chainsaw 3D,
Okay.
which came out, I don't know, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Alexander Daddario.
I think that was 2013.
Yeah. Okay. That was a direct sequel to the 1974 original.
Okay.
Okay. And I can't think of another time, but this is true with Halloween. There's a new RoboCop. Neil Blomkamp is doing. Is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Blomkamp.
Really?
Which is going to be a sequel
To the original?
Paul Verhoeven's original.
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
That is
That
weird.
is weird. Like, and I kind of like the idea of that, and we should save this for the other episode.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I have no interest in a RoboCop sequel. Like, I've seen all the RoboCop movies, like fairly recently, so I don't have that nostalgia for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love the first one a lot.
It's really good. It's really good. The other two, and then the remake is just
Yeah.
But
man, the remake had some ideas I really, really loved.
Me too.
The fact that he was, what was it? That he was like still human in there. There was something in there that they touched on briefly that I was like, oh man, this is really going somewhere. And then it didn't. And then it was just action. And I was like, whoa. And then it was PG-13 action. And I was like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
it being a sequel to the fact that there's going to be 3 movies called Halloween.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
That is kind of rough.
Yeah.
I don't understand why not giving it a subtitle.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
Are they going to change it closer to the release? I don't know. But having said that, I will say that is literally the only fault I can find.
Yep.
Because I am excited for it.
Yep.
Yeah, and also. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying we can try to find all the faults we want. They could. She has a daughter in this film. They could have cast Danielle Harris at least as a nod to Jamie Lloyd. They are. I mean, I know it's not. It has nothing to do with the H2O timeline, but she did have a son in that one. Couldn't they at least have? I don't know. I mean, I get why they had to do what they did, but I wonder if they're going to be nods to those.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
I'm curious about that. switching gears a little bit. Glass.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the poster?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you sent
it's
it to
awesome.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Man, it's so weird to be excited about an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I know.
Isn't it?
It's so
But we kind of were for Split, weren't we?
I wasn't.
I was cautious.
Well, you know why I was.
optimistic.
Blumhouse.
Oh yeah, so yeah. Like I had heard that it was good, and I was like,
Blumhouse
gotta
is
see
making
it.
a movie? Oh, M. Night's directing? Well, I better see it.
yeah. Well, like at that point, I was like, well, I'll see it, but I was so primed
I'm not gonna
to
like
not like it. Yeah, because like in the
I
trailer,
won't watch you. I'm not going to like it. You can't make me like
well,
it.
the trailer had that scene where, like, like he gets into the car from the beginning of the movie, and then I think is it Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yep.
She's like, excuse me, sir, I think you're in the wrong car, and I'm just like in the trailer that made me cringe. Like, okay, stranger just got in your car, and that's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
Super
yeah,
Bowl.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, like it just
Everybody
made me-
must have cringed.
yeah, that and like just remembering how terrible The Visit was.
Is it terrible?
Oh,
I think
hated
people
it.
like that movie. I didn't like it either.
It did have good critical, like it was
The
people liked it.
boy in that movie with his
Oh,
rap.
my
Oh my
God.
god.
That it's just like the whole movie. I'm like, has M. Night Shyamalan ever interacted with people? Like he just, it just felt like
That
he didn't
movie brought him
understand.
back.
It did.
That movie afforded him Split.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And then now we're getting Glass, which I hope is good.
Yeah.
But it's like just that poster is just so badass.
So you guys know, obviously you know,
Mhm.
listeners, you probably know if you've heard me on this podcast at all. I'm a teacher, right?
Mhm.
I teach sophomores, I teach 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. So I really like being able to have my ear kind of to the ground and how are 15 and 16-year-olds perceiving these things.
Yeah.
And I'm able to identify students who loved movies the way I did when I was their age, a little more advanced.
Yeah.
Obviously not as advanced as adults like we are. They obviously don't talk about movies the way you and I did when we were in college.
Right.
Even that, but I also get kind of a kick out of seeing the people who really don't watch movies.
Oh, yeah?
And just these kids who go and they're like, oh, Split was so awesome. And it was crazy that how his dad showed up in the diner and knew who it was. And I'm like, what?
That's
How did you
great.
make that leap? And then it's kind of like, I want to tell them how cool it is that no, that's a character
Yeah.
from another movie, but then also realizing they don't care.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
be in their
know what
wheelhouse.
Unbroken is.
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Yeah. Unbreakable. Sorry.
Yeah. Man, and I'm gonna geek out about the ending of Split. So if you haven't seen it, spoilers, but you should probably know what happens at this point. But I just remember that feeling. Like that is one of the best like theater experience I've had in a while.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Just experiencing the ending, because like I was sitting there and like the music starts playing. I'm like, I wonder if he got it was James Newton Howard. I wonder if he's been doing the score, because this reminds me of Unbreakable.
Did he do the score, or did they just
use
needle
the
drop
track.
the
Yeah. And so I'm like,
Okay.
this is really good. And like I remember like thinking like, man, I've got to see Unbreakable again. This was good. And then you get to the diner and I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Is that Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my god, this like fuck what happened? Like, oh my god.
I felt the same way.
You liked that
Yeah.
so much. I thought that was pretty. I don't know, on the nose.
I can see it
I don't
being
know.
on the nose or
I
gimmicky.
liked it. I let my nerdy side take over and be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then the critic in me was kind of like, settle down. It's also super geeky.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, like, I was obsessed with M. Night Shyamalan.
You were. Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
And
Did you have an Unbreakable poster in college?
I didn't.
No? Why am I
Did
thinking
I?
that?
Maybe I did.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I know I had that ridiculous Elizabethtown one.
Yeah, I
For a
didn't
movie-
understand that.
Still never seen it.
You had an Elizabethtown
I
poster?
did, because I
Yep.
got it from the movie theater, because I worked at the movie theater. I think that's why I hung it up. 'Cause
Gotcha.
It's just like,
Okay.
Reminded you of
nostalgia.
a slice of home.
Yeah. But it's also like...
You
why-
had that poster?
Yeah. Like,
You had Gosh, I can't remember now.
I don't know. Did I have how many? Maybe I did. I don't know if I had Unbreakable. I think I had like an
Sorry,
Incredibles.
Tony. Back to
No,
college
that's fine. No, that's all right.
memories.
Yeah. But anyway, I had a fucking poster for a movie I never saw and still have not seen.
Don't.
Yeah, I've heard.
terrible movie.
Yeah, I don't know why you.
I don't even remember that movie. I don't know why I watched it.
Yeah.
Was it Orlando Bloom and Reese Witherspoon?
Orlando Bloom and I think Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, Split. They just released some, or I'm sorry, Glass. They just released some production photos of it.
Nice.
There's this really cool one of the three of them. It's kind of like similar to the poster. They're sitting in chairs in like what looks like some kind of psychiatric facility, and a woman is sitting across from them, looking at them, and like they all look like, you know, they have like a look on their face, and like the whole, like it's a wide open room, and like I think it the lighting is like purple, I think, or it might be yellow, but I feel like it should be purple.
So are they filming right now?
I think, yeah, because it comes out.
Which is filming first, Split or It? Or Glass or It? Because James McAvoy is in both,
Oh
right?
yeah. I know it is currently filming.
Right.
They might be
That's what I thought.
done with Glass because
Okay.
that movie comes out in January.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, and it is a big ensemble movie too, so he probably doesn't. He probably
True.
filmed it in 3 weeks
Yeah.
Okay.
or 4. I don't
Plus, just the Blumhouse model. I mean, quick
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
and cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of movie posters,
Gotta love
Yes.
that Blumhouse.
the company I work for, we have a contract with AMC theaters,
Okay.
and so I've gotten to go work in several AMC theaters,
Nice.
and
cool.
yeah, it's like half dozen probably, and I don't know if you experienced this or you remember this from working in a movie theater, but like in the projection room and like the area leading up to the projection room, they'll just have movie posters just all over the walls.
You know, I don't know if Regal had that.
Really?
I don't remember. I worked there
Okay.
for like 3 months, 4 months.
Okay. Well, it's funny because like I don't know how that works, but like how do they decide what movie poster gets to make the wall, right?
Right.
Because sometimes I'll go into one and it's like Herbie Fully Loaded. It's like random, just crap.
Weird.
Elizabethtown.
Yeah. It's just like, but then they'll
The
have like,
owner's favorites.
but then they'll have like, you know, Star Wars Episode 7. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
something that's probably actually kind of valuable, or like, these are like obviously legit movie posters, not like something you go buy on.
Right.
I mean, this is like promotional stuff that the theater gets for free.
Are they like framed?
No, they're just like,
Tacked up?
Just tacked up.
the two-sided, right?
Yeah,
Where it's got the image on the back, so it can be lit up.
I assume. I
Yes.
assume, yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like, and it's just funny, but like I think the best one I saw was, it's the oldest one I've seen, because a lot of it's like, you know, like I said, they're just kind of like taped up on the wall, so they probably don't last very long.
Right.
So most of them were like 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe 10 years old.
Gotcha.
I saw one for Anaconda.
Oh, wow.
There was an Anaconda movie poster. That movie came out in like 97.
Uh-huh.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like I was just,
Wow.
I was like, man, that's kind of impressive. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was, you know, frayed and torn and stuff, but I was like, that's impressive. That's still on their wall.
That's funny.
And it's just, it's funny to me that, like, you know, like if you get a new movie poster to hang up, what comes down and how do you decide what goes up? Like, I was like, who makes those decisions?
And then
It's like-
one will come and they'll be like, guys, I think it's time to take down Anaconda.
yeah, right. Like, when's Anaconda gonna fall? Like,
when
when's that?
Megalodon comes out.
Yeah.
The Meg. Is it
The
called the
Meg.
Meg?
The Meg.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited about that?
Oh, I can't wait to see
think it looks okay. Yeah, I think it looks fun.
I think it looks stupid fun.
Yeah.
How much time
Oh,
do we
yeah.
have on this thing left? How long have we been talking?
Oh, I don't know.
4 hours?
Pretty much.
Do you release like 2-hour episodes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We haven't been
people
doing that.
listen to
we
this?
haven't been doing that lately, though.
Okay.
Most
right.
most of ours are we've cut it down to
Are
about an
people
hour.
still
and a half.
listening? You guys still listening?
Are you guys?
If you listen to this episode, I'm not kidding. I want to see if you are listening to this episode. First of all, I love you so much. Thank you. I'm so thankful that you listen to our podcast, this podcast that Matt and Tiny started years ago and I joined on. Thank you for listening. If you are listening right now, pause for just a second and send one of us a tweet at Obsessive Tiny, at Obsessive Viewer, at I am Mike White. That's me. I am Mike White. And just say, hey, I'm listening to your 2-hour aimless episode, the least beholden to a topic ever. Even when we do Potpourri, it's like you take a turn to talk about a thing you dig.
Yeah.
You take a turn to talk about a thing you dig. This has been like the catch-up episode.
It really has.
We've never done one like this. So for real, listener, whomever you are,
Tweet us the word watermelon.
Watermelon.
Just like, there's got to be a code.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening.
Me too.
We'll keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I talk about a movie that I had
Yeah,
for my potpourri?
we should
pick
probably talk about a movie.
that I had up on my phone forever ago. So the other night I watched a movie that I've been looking forward to for a long time. It's called Terrifier.
Okay.
It's called the movie Terrifier, 2017, directed by Damien Leone. And so a couple years ago, I want to say it was 2014, All Hallows Eve came out.
That's right.
Yes. And it was this horror anthology. It was really not very good. I think there were 4 shorts, and what they had was the director of the entire project had one short that was really good, featuring this character called Art the Clown. And I'm showing the guys right now a picture of Art the Clown. And had a couple of more shorts that they wanted to use, and then got another short from somewhere else. So it's 4 shorts that are not interconnected whatsoever. It's like Trick or Treat that came out in 2008 has really ruined anthologies
Right.
from there because it's so good.
It's so perfectly interconnected.
Yeah. And even, Tales of Halloween, which came out 2 years ago, is much better than All Hallows Eve. But so there was this character in All Hallows Eve, Art the Clown, which is the wraparound story, the frame story of this hardly interconnected anthology. But Art the Clown was terrifying. It was awesome. It was really, really cool, creepy villain. If you are not pulling up a picture of him right now, he's like this black and white, like old, like style, like when they called him buffoon, or an idiot clown. And he's got this white and black face paint, super gnarly teeth, and this big, like, black grimace on his face. Super scary. So anyway, that anthology was not very good. But Art the Clown was scary. So recently they decided to make a feature film featuring this Art the Clown, and it's called Terrifier. Video on demand, straight to VOD. I don't even know if it has a DVD. I don't even think you can buy a DVD.
Wow.
I just got it straight on Google Play. And I loved it.
Really?
I watched it by myself. I'm in a hotel room this week. That's why I'm in Indy. And I watched it by myself on Google Play. And it was like, I don't know. I haven't seen a slasher that scary in a long time.
Nice.
It was really good. I'm always looking for like the next great splatter flick. Like there's not a whole lot of great splatter flicks that come out anymore, especially not like wide release. So when you find one that's kind of easy to find on VOD, that's modern, that's produced this year, 2017, 2018, and it's good splatter with like good practical effects and good suspense. I'm all over it. And so the movie starts, it's Halloween night, and it's these girls are like drunk, it's a party or whatever, and they stop and they want to get some food, and they stop at this diner, and this clown sits down in the booth across from them and just won't stop staring at them. And so like the dread that builds early on is so good. And I don't really feel that dread all that much anymore that you're supposed to feel, but just like waiting for how he's gonna like murder these girls is like, that gets me scared. Right? And then so, that's tense, and the girls are good. It's like cheesy 80 influenced acting, but like they know it. and this Art the Clown is terrifying, and he finally goes up to him, and he doesn't say a word the whole movie. And then so these girls go away, and it just gets gnarly, and he starts like super nasty kills. The characters go away and they come back, and this guy's head has been turned into a jack-o'-lantern. And then later on, you see him turn another head into a jack-o'-lantern. And there's a scene about midway through. He has a victim, and they are. I don't know if I should spoil any bit of this, but I'll say it's one of the gnarliest, goriest kills I've seen in a very, very long time.
Crazy.
Like,
Sweet.
as a gore hound, I like watched with one eye.
Wow.
It was so gross and
Nice.
so awesome. And again, like, as he's carving this human being, he's not like talking or laughing. He's like doing that silent laugh that clowns do. Oh my God. It was super creepy. And so I'll say it's not for the faint of heart.
Sure.
Definitely, like, be a fan of horror, be a fan of slashers, splatter flicks when you go in. Some really cool musical cues. It's not like this super reverential horror movie where it's like paying homage to the movies that came before it.
Sure.
Except there's a bit of a score that sounds a little Halloweenish. And so that little nod to fans of that was awesome, because the rest of the movie is not, oh, there's a reference. Oh, there's a reference.
Right.
Oh, there's a reference. It's not that at all. Except for that little musical cue, which is just in a really good scene of suspense. And then it just continues to build. More people get killed, and this Art the Clown is terrifying. Sets up for another one if there be another one. It was just really good.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So you mentioned in this, I don't want to lead us into a longer conversation because Tiny has not seen a certain movie.
Okay.
But you mentioned that there's this feeling of terror that or this dread that you experience, and we've had long conversations about how
what scares us.
What scares us and everything. Now, not to besmirch the quality of the movie at all,
Don't
but
you dare.
I thank you not to besmirch.
Yeah, I think you're not to besmirch my wife. Yeah.
But how do you watched it last night?
2 nights ago. Last night I watched Basket Case.
Okay.
From 1982.
Okay.
Another splatter flick, and it was not good.
Okay. But how much of your experience, and how do you find yourself more wrapped up in it because you were watching it presumably at night in a hotel room by yourself? Away from home? Did that factor into the experience?
Yes, I think so. I'll say most of the horror movies I watch alone.
Okay.
Well, new ones, modern ones I see in the theater with my friend Jake. So I do have that audience. But like come Shocktober, if it's not a movie night, generally my wife goes to bed unless she has picked the movie, right? Unless she's like, yeah, I want to watch this and this. She's sure, she has her own list that we're going to watch this year. And those are a little more tame, a little more modern. Like she's ready to watch It again. Okay. One of her favorites is House of a Thousand Corpses, so we'll watch that. She loves You're Next, so we'll watch that one. But other than that, she's in bed and it's kind of late. My house, which will not be my house in October, but the house that I live in right now, that I have lived in, my couch rests on this window behind me, isn't it? It reminds me so much of that scene in Scream, the opening of Scream, where Casey, played by Drew Barrymore, her boyfriend Steve is gutted outside, and because my backyard has that patio with the light and look. And so I definitely like close those blinds a little tighter when it's dark and scary.
And it's like when I stayed the night last year, it's like pitch black out there. Like I could not.
Now, did you sleep on the couch?
I did. Yeah.
Even though we have a guest bed.
Did I sleep on the couch?
I bet you slept on the guest bed.
No, I remember I was No, I did sleep on the couch, I think.
Yeah.
I don't
People
know.
do that. Some people just don't feel comfortable in the guest bed.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't sleep in the guest, because
I don't know.
I had my stuff in there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Huh. Anyway, but yeah, that was, yeah. So how, with horror movies, how much does context of how you're watching it factor into your enjoyment?
It has a lot to do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, my last October, my wife went to Portland, so I was kind of by myself for that 4-day, that Friday the 13th weekend in October. And I watched a few that maybe were a little too scary
Nice.
to watch alone. And I love that because it does bring back that fear that I talk about is gone in a lot of ways.
But that different type of fear in Hereditary, though, God damn it.
That's something else.
Yeah.
I was not on the podcast to talk about that.
Huh?
We did not talk about that on the podcast
No, we did
of what
not.
Hereditary did.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about that on this podcast?
No.
I didn't see it.
You
so-
haven't seen it?
Yeah.
We will not talk about that until you see it because
Right.
I think that one is worth
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
Maybe we do a Blu-ray review or something.
Yeah.
When that one
Oh,
comes
I'm
out.
totally for that.
Because that will probably. Well, I don't know because there's
I'll try to see it
months
before
left in the year.
October so we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say it will definitely end up on my top 10 list. Well, definitely my top 5. It might be my movie of the year
Yeah.
at this point
I don't
because it was so
blame you.
good.
Oh my God. Like, we'll save it.
Yep.
But yeah, Tiny, do you have, do you want to do another round or? should
I
we
don't
start
know.
wrapping up?
I feel like it's long.
Oh,
A,
yeah.
B, I got to poop.
Okay.
Oh,
C,
yeah.
I do have to get up to go to work in the morning.
Okay, yeah, so same here.
So we'll do,
Me too.
we'll wrap it up.
That's fine. Okay, any parting thoughts? Do you want to promote your
Yeah, sure.
creation?
One last time. Again, my band is As Good As It Gets. Our album is Pastiche. And you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. You purchase on iTunes. Listen on Apple Music. Purchase on Google. Listen on Google. We're on Bandcamp if you want to just give us the money straight away. That's always cool. Actually, Bandcamp has a bonus demo track, which is exclusive to Bandcamp. So that's pretty cool. You can find us on YouTube. We have a couple lyric videos on YouTube. Just give it a listen. As Good As It Gets. Pastiche.
Yeah, I want to say that I streamed it on Google Play at work. And then, like I was mentioning, we were talking before recording, and then Tiny went and, like, bought it.
I know.
I feel like he kind of one-upped me a little bit.
He
I
did.
did.
He
It was
bought
in-
it today.
it was
'cause he's a
intentional.
sweetheart.
Yeah, well,
Thank you, Tiny.
I'm super broke.
It's fine.
But, yeah. Anything? Oh, Shocktober and Irvington tickets are going to be on sale soon. I think as of this recording, we're going to put it on sale tomorrow, Friday the 13th, so fitting. Yes. So find that at shocktoberirvington.com. This year it's on October 12th, and it's at the Playground Production Studios. So super excited about that. Next time we have an episode. I'm being very careful not to say week. What do you want to do? Do you want to
I don't know.
anything? Skyscraper comes out this weekend. Or would you be able to see a movie?
I don't think so. I'm working Saturday.
That's fine.
And,
Oh, yeah. I was thinking I've got a busy weekend too.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll have an episode soon. But yeah, Mike, thank you for coming.
Great to have you back, especially in
it's-
person.
It's so fun to be back. yeah.
Yeah.
Do you,
I think you guys, like I said earlier, I think you guys will hear me a couple times
I hope so.
coming up soon. So
yeah.
Sweet.
hopefully I'll try to be on a little more.
yeah. One last thing. Do we have your permission to play a track from your album?
Please do. Yeah.
After
So
the-
Matt is going to play the song. I feel like I'm on like a late night show and I'm queuing up the thing. This is awesome. No, Matt is going to play the song Back at You from our album Pastiche. And so I sing on the album, but this song is sung by the other singer, my partner in the band, Dustin. And it is like one of my favorite songs of all time that he wrote. He played me this song and I was like, oh my God, that people are going to love this song. So it's called Back at You. There's a lyric video. If you like this song, it's on YouTube. You can look it up and watch the fun little lyric video we made out of like, note cards or whatever. So check that out.
It was adorable.
It's called thanks. So it's called Back at You. I hope that you like it.
Yes, and links to all this will be in the show notes. And I thought there was one more thing, but I can't remember. So Mike, it's been great, and we'll have you back soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or anywhere else podcasts are found. If you'd like to support the show, the best and easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews means it'll be easier for people to find the show in the highly competitive film and TV podcast genre. It also provides us with valuable feedback on the show. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a one-time PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate or become a patron at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer for recurring donations with different reward tiers. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, notebooks, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can also buy other great TeePublic designs in our store, and we'll get a small commission on the sale. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes. and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. We love to hear from you guys. You can contact us by emailing podcast@obsessiveviewer.com or by tweeting us at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer, where you can take part in discussions and polls between episodes. For more podcast content, check out Anthology, Matt's solo podcast, where he's reviewing The Twilight Zone as a first-time viewer and exploring other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows. You can find Anthology at anthologypod.com and anywhere podcasts are found. For book lovers, you can check out our sister site at obsessivebooknerd.com for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the app of your choice. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.